Welcome back to Run the Layers. I am your host, Creative Bobby, and on this episode, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. One of the main things I want to talk to you about is Divide Objects Below, one of my favorite tools in Adobe Illustrator. I use it a lot when I'm trying to create negative space logos or just in general to kind of carve out things in Illustrator. For the longest time, I didn't think cutting was even possible in Illustrator. I thought I had to go to Photoshop to get the shape that I wanted right and then import it into Illustrator. But Illustrator has a great tool known as Divide Objects Below. And Divide Objects Below is how I created some negative space logos. And one negative space logo in particular that I'm going to talk to you about is my Mississippi Flood logo. Mississippi Flood logo was actually a part of my 100-day project where I took 100 songs that I really like, and I made logos out of each of them. And the Mississippi Flood is a song that was actually featured on the TV show Nashville, sung by Hayden Panettiere. She was Juliet Barnes on the show. I immediately was like, okay, you have two distinct words. You have Mississippi, you have flood. So, of course, I wanted to take the shape of the state of Mississippi, but then how was I going to kind of express the flood part of it and kind of marry those two things together? So what I did was I made like a simplified shape of Mississippi, and then I kind of took, lines as you might see, water lines kind of mimicking the ocean, mimicking large amounts of water, and then have those lines going through the shape of the state. So instead of trying to carve out that shape perfectly with the pen tool, what I did was I drew the shape of the state, and then I just went ahead and drew the lines of where I wanted the waves to be, and then overlaid the waves onto the state of the shape, the shape of the state, and I used my handy dandy Divide Objects Below, which worked wonders. In the past, I've talked about my love of negative space logos and how I did it, and I used the microphone that I created as well as the pencil that I created as an example. But with the negative spaces that divide objects below, which is key to getting what I want and getting the look that I'm going for. This is like one of like four or five, probably four art boards that I used for the 100-day project. And there's the Mississippi Flood logo there. And that was the only one I used the negative space on. But that was the one that I used it here. This was Drip It in Finesse, I believe, the Bruno Mars song, where so you see the grid behind it. So if you were trying to kind of use it for a one color shirt or one color anything, you can do that, but you still have the shape. So you're basically allowing the background to assist in allowing the viewer to see what you want them to see. So as you see the grid in the background, so you know all this is cut out. So the actual shape is just everything you see in black, which Divide Objects Below is it's awesome, because instead of trying to draw all of this out and trying to get it perfect with all of this intricacy within, you just do this shape totally, and you just draw how you want it to be cut, and then you just cut those parts out. Here's me doing a very basic example of what you can do with Divide Objects Below. So let's just start with a shape here. A little circle. Now with the circle, you want a perfect circle. I'll hold down on the Mac, it's the Alt or Option key and the Shift key at the same time. So then when I pull it out from the center, it does exactly what I wanted to do, and I release. Okay. Let's make this a black shape with no stroke. Okay. Now, let's say you have that circle. Let's say you want to put a square in the middle of it, or maybe that square is going to mean something, or you're just trying to cut. Like I said before, I thought Photoshop was the only way I could cut. Well, let's take this. See what we're going with here. We got the square in the middle. So you got the square shape is on top. And flip the layers. You have the rectangle on top of the circle. Okay. So whatever you want, whatever shape, whatever shape you want to cut out of the bottom shape, just make sure that's on top. Then you go to Object, you go to Path, and you go to Divide Objects Below. Now, what you'll see is that it has cut it out. Like if you look over here in the layer, you'll see that this is cut, but that path is still there. So after you've divided the object, so basically you're literally making it so that the area that you've selected is a different path than the layer you've cut from. That's all you do, delete, and boom, there you go. So like when you see a lot of more intricate negative space logos, you'll see that they'll have like maybe like one animal in the midst of another animal. That's just about them cutting in the right places and then putting the right accents on there. So instead of trying to have this square here and trying to make sure, I don't know, like this is white, when you take this out of when you take this out of Illustrator and you try to put this on things, you will have to make sure that this is, you know, colored in. But if you delete it, now you can make this whatever color you want it to be, and you have that one singular shape that can be whatever you want it to be in whatever color you want it to be. So it's always good to have a logo. I like logos that are some logos that are minimalistic, that you can use in one color, so that you can be kind of diverse in the color schemes that you use depending on what background you have. So yeah, that's the simple divide objects below tutorial, I guess. But yeah, thank you for watching. Continue to subscribe, like, and follow me on social media at Creative Bobby. That is BOBBIE. And yeah, I'll see you next time.